The Prime Minister has revealed he's working on a plan to allow Australians to resume flying overseas as soon as they've been vaccinated. The scheme would initially be limited to essential travel for business deals and family funerals and would allow us to quarantine at home on return.
Before a crowd with COVID questions,
what I'm working on right now,
Scott Morrison insisted changes are coming. A plan to allow Australians overseas for essential travel, business deals, medical procedures, family funerals, and to quarantine at home for 14 days on return. But the catch?
that would require being vaccinated.
The PM also quizzed by GPs worried about using mass vaccination sites to boost the rollout.
We don't have a massive supply of nurses and doctors available to staff huge clinics.
I would be very reticent about pulling health workers out of our hospitals.
The PM's plan to give 16 million Australians under 50 both their first and second Pfizer doses in the last 3 months of the year would mean vaccinating more than 230,000 a day. A more immediate concern, daily vaccination numbers took an immediate hit after Thursday night's bombshell AstraZeneca announcement, and despite the usual weekend dip, haven't recovered to last week's record highs.
And I think it's created a furore which is actually unwarranted. These are still fantastic vaccines.
For now, COVID restrictions are still easing. On all public transport from Monday, seat spacing ends. Passengers again encouraged to sit together and only distance if standing.
So you'll be able to sit anywhere, but the green dots are staying. Transport officials say it's just too big a job to remove them all, and they want to keep them just in case we need to go back to those rules.
Anticipating confusion,
I'd ask customers to be polite and realise this is health advice. You can sit together now, it is important.
they are still yet to remove those stickers still warning of fines that no longer apply. Some passengers wary of the change.
A bit early, I think, at a time still where there's just a little bit of doubt in the vaccine rollouts.
Definitely got used to having a spare seat. The extra space and no crowding on the trains is very nice.
We're going forward, things are getting better.
But in case things get worse, Sydney Water says new wastewater testing technology means better pinpointing COVID outbreaks through the sewerage. The Torpedo passive sampler catches COVID fragments in a membrane.
Revolutionise how quickly we can actually not only deploy our testing but to get really effective results back.
Compared with the more labour-intensive method used last year, those machines also cost $10,000 each. The new samplers can be 3D printed for 50 cents. Paul Caddock, 7 News.
The vaccine rollout will also impact travel, with Qantas and Virgin announcing major expansions today. Let's go to Network Finance editor Gemma Acton. Gemma, we can expect more flights, more crews and more planes.
Yes, Mark, domestic travel is booming and the airlines are responding. All Qantas and Jetstar domestic staff are already back at work, with Jetstar saying that it expects by the end of this year it'll be flying 20% more passengers than in its pre-COVID days. But how quickly international travel resumes is still unclear.
Frozen in time since March 2020. The departure board in the Qantas First Class Lounge announces Monday's Trans-Tasman bubble launch.
It's fantastic for these guys to have the job that they love doing back again.
Despite the government no longer committing to lifting international flight bans by October, Qantas is pressing ahead.
We're getting our aircraft and people ready for the end of October.
But even as the covers come off, the airline is hedging its bets.
If we need to push things out past October because the vaccine rollout isn't as fast as people expect, we can do that.
Qantas is hoping what this departure board lacks in variety, it makes up for in volume. New Zealand is the largest passenger market into and out of Australia, and the airline says early demand has already exceeded pre-COVID levels.
A Qantas Sydney-Auckland return trip on Monday morning ranges from $500 to $700, under $400 if you arrive at midnight.
Come this way! Get out! Inflate life jackets!
As Virgin showed off training for every passenger's nightmare, the airline declared it's bouncing back after the pandemic slide.
By the end of the year, we're shooting to get back to 100% of pre-COVID capacity.
Virgin is hiring and rehiring 375 cabin crew with 10 new aircraft for an extra 220 flights per week. Despite no New Zealand flights till September, the sky's the limit.
People are hungry to get back to travelling.
Gemma Acton,
High heels off!
7 News.